Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this shawl here that you saw in the picture. I don't have a really big space, but I'll try to lay it out so you can kind of see. It's kind of made with the puff stitch here. You see? And it's got some long fringe on it. Pretty long. It's a triangle shawl. Okay, I'll set that to the side. I know you can't see it very well, but... Okay, special thanks to my friends at Red Heart for providing today's yarn for me. Today I'm using their Super Saver Ombre yarn. It is a medium weight, 100% 4-ply acrylic yarn. And there are... see if I can find it here. Yeah, 482 yards per skein. I went through 2 skeins and I did not have enough to finish all the fringe on my shawl. So my fringe is actually really long though. So if you don't want fringe, 2 skeins will be enough. If you want long fringe like I have, you're going to need 3 skeins of it. If you make your fringe shorter, like maybe just a couple inches, 2 skeins will probably be enough. But if you want it long like mine, you're going to need 3. I actually ran out, so I have to get more to finish mine. This is not the color that I used. The color that I used was called Anemone, but of course you can use any color that you like. And I will put a link below in the description box to where you can get this yarn. Also, please don't forget to check out redheart.com, where you'll find thousands of free crochet and knitting patterns there. I'm sure you'll find something there that you like. And I also want to remind you not to forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That way you never miss out on any of my tutorials. And you can check out the link below to bagodaycrochet.com, where you'll find the free written pattern for this shawl. And then I'm using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Okay, you want to start off with a slip knot on your hook. It's actually fairly easy to do. And you want to work a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to work in the very first stitch, and we're going to be putting puff stitches in it. So I'll show you how we do the puff stitch. You want to go in to the very first stitch and draw up a loop. And then you want to yarn over and go back into that same stitch and drop another loop. Now you'll have 4 loops on your hook now. Now you want to yarn over and go through the first 3 loops, and now you'll have 2 loops on your hook. You want to yarn over and go through those 2 loops and chain 1. And that's how we work the puff stitch for this shawl. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 5 of them in this very first stitch. So that was number 1. So we're going to go back into the same stitch and work another one. So go right into that very first stitch, drop a loop, and then we're going to yarn over, go into the same stitch, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and go through the remaining 2 loops on your hook and chain 1. So that's 2 puffs. Remember, we need a total of 5, so I'm going to go right back in, go right in, draw up a loop, draw it up a little high, maybe a ½ inch or so. Then you yarn over, go in again, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 3 loops on your hook, and then the remaining 2 loops on your hook and chain 1. So that's 3 puffs. So we're going to continue until we get 5. So go in the same stitch again, draw up a loop about a ½ inch or so, then you yarn over, go into the same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through the remaining 2 loops on your hook, and chain 1. So there's 4 puffs. Let's do one more into that same stitch. So go right into it, draw up a loop, yarn over, go into the stitch, draw up a loop. You have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through the first 3, and then you'll have 2 loops. Yarn over and go through the remaining 2, just like that. Now since we got our 5 puffs, now we're going to go ahead and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and turn our work. Now we're going to put 2 puffs into this very first puff. It's kind of like this big empty, it's kind of like this space right here. You'll see it's real easy. So go right into it and put 2 puffs into it. So go right through them, draw up a loop about a 1/2 inch or so, yarn over again, go through, draw up a loop. 4 loops will be on your hook, yarn over and go through the first 2, and then you'll have 2 more, yarn over and go through those 2, chain 1. Now we're going to go in the same spot again and put another puff. Like that. Yarn over and go through the first 3 loops, go through the remaining 2, chain 1, just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 puff into the next puff. So it's kind of like right here on the side. If you pull the puff apart, it needs to go right here in this big empty space. So go ahead and put 1 puff into that spot. Chain 1. Now this next stitch, this next puff, you can see is the middle puff of this group of 5 from the previous row. The middle puff, because here was 1, 2, here's the third one, that's the middle, and then you have 2 more. The middle puff is we're going to put 5 puffs into that middle puff. So that's going to be the kind of the point of the shawl. So right here in this middle stitch, we're going to do 5 puffs. So go ahead and drop a loop, yarn over, go in, drop a loop, finish out your puff, and we want to do that 4 more times for a total of 5 puffs. So we're going to go again, go through the first 3 loops, the remaining 2 loops, chain 1, so that's 2 puffs again. Chain 1, that's 3 puffs. That's 4 puffs, 1 more. Chain 1. So now you got your 5 puffs there into that middle stitch. Now into the next puff, we're just going to put 1 puff. So right here, kind of right there on the side there, put 1 puff. Chain 1. And then the next one is this, it's this last one right here. See this chain 5? It's right here. Here's the puff, here's the chain 5, it's this space right here. It's kind of open and big, and that's fine, it's supposed to be like that. Put 1 puff into that one. And now we chain 1, and now we end by putting 1 puff into the top stitch of our chain 5. So go right into that top stitch and put 1 puff into it. Just like that. And every time we finish at the end of the row, we chain 5 again. And turn our work. And that was row 2. So it's kind of a repeat of that, really. So every row you'll have 6 more puffs than you did the previous row. So the first row we had 5. Now this row you should have 11. 10, 11. Yep, and I do. Now we just start, it's just kind of a repeat of that now. So we start every row by chain of 5, and we put 2 puffs into the very first stitch here. We always start with a chain 5 and 2 puffs. So we go right in and do our 2 puffs. Oops. That was 1. Ow, I keep doing that. And 2. Now we're going to put 1 puff in every stitch until we reach the middle stitch of this group of 5 puffs. So go ahead and put 1 puff into the next stitch. One puff into the next. One puff into the next. And you keep doing that until you get the middle. Let me check here. 1 puff. I got 1 more puff into the next. And now I'm at the middle stitch of this group of 5 from the previous row. You can look and see. Here's 1, 2, and here is the middle one. So now I need to put my 5 puffs into the middle one every time. The middle stitch always gets the 5 puffs. And that is the point of our shawl. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. 'And chain 1, and there's my 5 puffs there into the middle. Now we'll continue putting 1 puff in each of these remaining puffs here until we get to the end. Remember, it's always this big space beside the puff. That's where we need to go into. Okay, here's my last puff. I just put 1 stitch into my last puff. Chain 1, and then right here on this chain 5, we put 1 puff into the top of the chain 5. So go right into the top of it and work 1 puff. Just like that. Chain 5. And turn, and we start again. So for row 3 you should have 6 more than the previous row. So 17. Last time we had 11, now we have 17. Now we're just going to keep continuing that. Start off with 2 puffs here, and then you just work 1 puff in every stitch until you get to the middle stitch of this group of 5, and then you'll put 5 puffs into that middle stitch, and then work 1 puff all the way here to the end, 1 puff in this last puff, and then 1 puff into the top of the chain 5, turn your work and start again. always 6 more puffs than you did the round before. Now, of course, you can make yours as big as you want, or as small as you want, but if you make it bigger, you will need more yarn than what I said in the beginning. If I had more yarn, I might have would have made it bigger. I don't know if I would have or not, but it's pretty. I ran out. I don't have it all the tassels on it, but I did a total of 25 rows. So you can do more if you want. That's completely up to you. But once you get your 25 rows done, now if you want to add fringe like I did, I'll show you how to do that real quick. Let me move my adding fringe is really easy. This would look good too, I think, with a nice plain single crochet edge, or even like a picot edge. I think that would look nice. You don't have to do the fringe. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I don't like putting fringe on. I really don't. But I like the looks of really long fringe on the shawl. I think it's really pretty. So how I did the fringe was, you want to put your work facing, they both sides look the same to me, but if there's a side you like better, face it up. Now I took 8 pieces of yarn, and they are about 2 feet. 8 pieces together, 2 feet. In every other puff, I put a fringe. So you kind of just, like I put one here, so I'm going to skip this one. And you kind of just stick your crochet hook in here and pull all your yarn through. Oh, grab these by your hand, get them all equal here. Now, down here, you kind of want to get them to where they're about equal, the ends. And then you just put your hand in, grab this, pull it right through. And that's how I do the fringe. So I'll do another one. Remember, I did 8 pieces, about 2 foot long each. And you don't have to make your fringe that long if you don't want. And you don't even have to put 8 pieces together. If you don't like the thick fringe, you can make it smaller. It's your shawl. You do however you want. I skipped, let's see where I put that one here. So I skipped one, and then the next one I put another piece of the fringe. So I just stick my hook right up through my piece, grab my yarn, pull it through, and then I pull it until these ends are pretty close to being equal. And then I stick my hand through, grab this piece, pull it right through, and then pull your knot. And that's how you make the fringe. Just like that. And then when you're done, you can cut all your fringe up evenly. Like I said, I got to get another skein to finish out my fringe because I made my fringe so long. But that's it. That's all there is to it. I got to hide a couple tails, but that's it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. It's actually a really easy shawl. I think with this ombre, it really turned out pretty, and I think any color of that ombre would make a gorgeous shawl like this. It's really pretty. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I hope you were able to follow along okay. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You don't want to miss out on any tutorials that I put on. And don't forget to check out redart.com too. And don't forget to check out Bagoday Crochet.com also, where you'll find the link to the free pattern for this. And until next time, have a good day.